amazing.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's a whirlwind.
Oh, it's a nice ride.
Yeah.
Driving
Ron's
you
is nice.
all the way out of
The
here.
Ron's Walmart was nice to sleep in the parking lot.
Oh,
I have a friend that told me if you stop at Cracker Barrel and sleep in their parking lot, you can call and order breakfast and they'll bring it to your window.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
I'll remember that for the next trip.
That would be my thing, but what's hers?
I'll introduce
hoping I
myself
never had to use that.
later.
All right,
Okay.
right there.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you all.
Thanks,
It's
man.
been a
Take
pleasure.
Thanks for stopping in. Hello, welcome to our Board of Trustees, May 23rd, Electric, Water and Utilities, Communication Utilities meeting. Jackie, would you please call roll call?
Board Member White,
Here.
Forbush,
She's there, right?
Smith,
Present.
Rosga,
Yes.
Voights.
Leslie, can you hear us?
Leslie, if you can hear me, unmute your phone for right now and talk to me, please. Oh, say that again. Are you there? Barely. Do you have your computer muted? Oh, there.
Do you want me to?
What do we want her to do? Mute the phone or mute the computer?
Okay. Can you hear me now? All right, I'm going to mute my phone and I'm going to leave, and I'll mess with the, I'll try to do the audio over the computer. Okay. Okay, so can you hear me now? Okay.
Mine that's got the back.
Right, so she's gonna need to mute it. Did she mute her phone?
She muted the computer. No, she said she was muting her phone, but that's not gonna stop. me
Yeah, it's
from-
still gonna loop, isn't it? Yeah, so,
It's an experiment.
yeah. I mean, it's not feeding back right now, so we might be okay. So let's try.
All right. Any public comments we would welcome at this time? Please step forward to the podium and announce your name and address, please. Okay, we have no public comment. Chris, would you like to introduce our visitor?
Yes, we have in the audience is Brian O'Neill. He is going to be our primary contact and attorney from the Dickinson Law Firm. Brian, this is the Board of Trustees.
Just wanted to introduce myself and say thank you again for selecting our firm. We're really excited. We've met with Lori and with Chris through the process. Got to meet some of the staff earlier this afternoon. So really excited to get going and happy to answer any questions that you may have, or if you'd like to email, that's fine too. But just wanted to put a name with the face. And, you know, as I tell a lot of people, the less you see us is probably the better. We hope to minimize the amount that, you know, obviously help with legal questions as they arise, but it's not our intention to, you know, get into every single detail. But as you have questions, we'll be there to help answer them. So
Great. Thank you, Brian. We appreciate you stopping in and we look forward to working with you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Moving to the consent agenda, are there any questions on the claims that were sent? Okay, minutes from the last meeting. Jackie noted that there was a date update in it. Outside of that, are there any questions or corrections?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Okay, moving ahead to the electric utility informational items.
I don't have a ton informational. It's just construction season. Everything's kind of moving forward, just doing those type of projects. Nothing really out of the norm right now. Just still on standby with the additional, there's still, like we talked at last meeting, still concerned about having enough base load out there to handle everything right now. There's so much base load that's offline for different reasons right now.
So is there any predictability on that base offload or?
Not until it'll just be off of the temperature and what the demand is out there, but so there's, I don't think it's, if we're gonna run, it's gonna be when we run this summer probably.
So we have not yet.
We have not yet, no.
Yeah, kind of uniquely, they've forecast some load problems. Here's what's going to be available. Here's maybe what'll get produced. And across the MISO region, we're seeing some potential problem areas. There's IUB has asked how we might notify customers of rolling blackouts and items like that. So, not that that's a foregone conclusion, but there is some concern surrounding that, and we're meeting with them and getting some information regarding what that might look like in the MISO region to protect both our electrical system and the larger grids, should any of those imbalances become problematic.
I can't give probably a follow-up. We talked about fuel at last meeting. Did some more checking on that as well. Looking out on the futures, it's definitely, you get 6 months out, it's starting to drop, not considerable, but 50, 60 cents a gallon and on the futures. But it's one of those gambling moments. Do you roll the dice and buy it at 60 cents cheaper? Or we sit there and go, man, we could have got it for $1.20 cheaper if we just wouldn't have contracted
You
it.
would have
So
waited. huh?
yeah.
So
That's all I have.
That's something you just keep your finger on.
Yep, something we'll just keep an eye on. We're most time, I'd say 90% or more than that percent of our fuel ends up being purchased through FS. They're usually low bid, and they've been good about giving us updates as far as where fuel prices are.
Moving on to water utility action items. We have an authorization for Warren Water District to serve a customer within their territory upon proper notice to IMU. Since the customer is within 2 miles of IMU territory, located at 16,001 Highway 92.
Yeah, from the map I sent you, it's real clear out there on East 92. And the rural water main goes right through their front parking, so it's the recommendation to let them serve.
Any concerns from your standpoint, Lou?
Same thing, so far out there, we couldn't do it. That's the reason we gave them the territory. They had, all those things.
Make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Any additional water utility information?
Just similar to what Mike said, we're very, very busy this season. So weather has finally broke for us. So we've got contractors calling us before 7, wanting us to be there. So we're hopping and skipping on that. And I think it's going to stay busy.
They call you the day of, wanting you to be there.
Yes, but that we usually, it doesn't ever work out for them usually, but but I do get those calls.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sometimes, you have to do a favor, otherwise that's all I've got.
Communications utility action items. We have consideration of the approval of a mutual non-disclosure agreement between Newcom Technologies, Inc. and Indianola Municipal Utilities, whereas the parties have an interest in participating in discussions where information shared with the other may be considered proprietary and confidential. Chris, do you want to speak to this?
Yep, this is just the beginning of the NOFA 7 documents that we need to get in place with Newcom. So this is just a mutual non-disclosure agreement between the two of us, standard NDA. It has been reviewed by legal counsel and basically says any information such as where, when, or how we're going to do things that isn't already public knowledge will be kept confidential. So
Any concern?
this just basically protects us if Newcom's doing business with MediaCom or something. They're not going to let MediaCom know where we're doing projects and when and stuff like that. So
Should we do all three of these and then vote, or do we do them
Individually.
individually? Okay, I take a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. The second is a consideration of the approval of a technical services agreement with Newcom Technologies for the performance of professional consulting services. Or any commentary there?
yeah, this is just since we'll be doing numerous projects phases with Newcom over the next few years with NOFA 7 projects. This is just kind of an overview of how we're going to do business between the two entities. So again, legal counsel has reviewed it. This is just kind of laying out how we communicate back and forth. Any actual money that's going to be spent will come in as a request for service, and you'll have an opportunity to vote on that. So this again is just a kind of overview of how we're going to do business over the next few years on these projects. So
Any concerns, questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, again, approved. And then the third item is a consideration of the approval of a request for services, RS, number 1, network extensions. I'm not sure what these acronyms all mean. NOFA grants 43351 and 43353 in the amount of $44,489 for the engineering design, bid package prep, and construction review of phases 1, 2, and 3 of the North project and the county connection phase of the South project.
yeah, so this is actually in the first request for service. Now we have the other two done. So this will be for engineering to finish out the phases up north by the water recovery facility, and then to get the main line from town out to the county building. So and they're anticipating the total cost of that'll be $44,489. It may be a little less or a little more depending on what the Army Corps of Engineers ends up charging us for engineering to get underneath South River. So that's kind of the only variable right now, but they're anticipating $4,000 for that. So it may come in a little higher, a little lower, but that should be in the ballpark. So,
But they're on deck to do the work.
yep.
They just don't know.
So,
And this does not include engineering for the rest of that southern project at all?
no, then we'll take that on phases later on as we get to them in future years. So, yeah, this will get the main line down what I call the Lake Road out there. So, yep.
Other questions or comments?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then any additional communications utility items?
Yeah, just like Mike and Lou, we're busy. Looks like May's gonna be another good month for new installs. So we keep plugging along. The only other updates, I have had meetings with Newcom and Pella about the transport route between the two of us. We're currently getting the material bid package ready to go out for bids. Pella has that in their hands right now. Their legal folks are taking a look at that. So I expect that to go out sometime in June. Hopefully we'll have numbers back on what the material costs are going to be sometime in July. So moving forward with that.
Probably just Pella that. It'll go through the Pella City Council.
It'll go through the Pella City Council, and then we'll all have an opportunity to vote yes or no on the price. But they're going to take care of all the bid package. Yeah,
Once
yeah,
it's come back, right?
exactly. Yep. So, and then the only other thing is we're still working on the audiovisual system for the customer service center. Doug's done his work. I just need to carve out some time to get it done on paper and get it to you guys. So hopefully we can have it for you in June. So.
Do you have any estimate of what you think that southern project, as far as the rest of the engineering go along with that, what that might cost?
I don't, we'll kind of see where costs come in. We had $97,000 budgeted for both projects. So So we're in pretty good shape on it. There should still be another $35,000-$40,000 to do those other two. My only concern is if we'll have to cross the river again over on the highway. I don't know if we're going to have enough light strength to loop all the way around to get that section over on the east side, but we'll see where we end up with that. So we'll know more after we put this first chunk in and see where we're at for light levels. So.
If you don't like those, what do they do? They put a booster in?
You can do that. We can just, stronger optics, or again, we could also come in from down by that trailer court on the south side of Indianola and come that way to shorten that distance up a little bit instead of coming all the way around. So yeah, few options.
Curious more than anything.
Combined water, electric, and communications items.
So from my perspective, busy week last week. I was at meeting board and committee meetings. Out of that, I did get a couple important, updates in the meeting. The board of directors got a presentation very similar to what we saw at our last meeting. The board reviewed that and approved that IRP plan. And the other probably important item of note, I got an update, chatted with some of the solar folks about where they're at with the project. And just as in the form of an update, the attorneys are still working with it. Where they are currently at, they were kind of disputing some language and chargeback of some leased property. Waverly's looking to buy their property, and they wanted Newcom to be, or Blue Sky to be able to commit to that land was okay before they signed the contract. And so what really is causing the delay now is they're on doing that geotech and evaluation on that property to not have to get into a situation where they're buying it and it's not going to work. And so that geotech is currently the Blue Sky is doing that land and soil analysis to make sure they can construct over the Waverly, and that's what's slowing up our contract. They want to make sure Waverly, the other player, that everything will work out for that location before they move forward with signing the contracts, because there was some unfavorable chargeback and both parties didn't want to be put in a bad position. So they worked it out to do some of the analysis ahead of time to get that plot of land approved before any more dollars or Waverly gets committed to that, which makes up a little sense to me. I could definitely see where both parties are working on, but they have done some soil analysis and they're working through the geotech on ours. I think they're trying to get those done on all the Iowa plots before the contract moves forward. So I did contact, I haven't heard back on what the schedule on that timing looks like, but things are progressing and after not hearing a little bit for a period of time, that update seemed reasonable and consistent and an overall smart choice for everyone involved. So they're doing some due diligence ahead of time rather than entering in the contract and having to worry about chargebacks. So the whole project is still looking good, still on track, and
Wouldn't say it's on track.
well,
But there's movement.
yeah, there's some movement. This is obviously, the size of the project is going to slow it down, but they kind of threw out some next year and next summer move around the schedule. I don't think that necessarily changes their end goal, their revised end goal, I guess I should say.
I do think it would be helpful if you continue to try and reach them to see what their schedule does look like. Even if it's a tentative schedule, we could have a better sense for what the timeline looks like once they do get those analysis back to know that the soil is good. What's the next step?
And then certainly, I contacted them this afternoon, but I didn't hear back for meeting time, but that's not surprising after I got that update last week. So.
Any other items out of meeting worthy of sharing?
Otherwise a good meeting where we reviewed the end of the year financials, which certainly with the natural gas prices, we expected those financials to divert from the budget. it wasn't as good as we hoped, and it wasn't as bad as we feared. So I think overall, a decent and reasonable position. Those natural gas prices remain in flux, and so some unpredictability in the market is still expected, certainly with the MISO system kind of alert and then working with IUB about what, the summertime expectations for demand and production. That'll likely have a mean effect as well with our production that could be favorable. Those spot prices do get, when there's scarcity, those spot prices do get very expensive. I think it's not unusual for something, a megawatt of power cost typically would cost us $35, $40, maybe up to $50. Those spot prices, when people get in the pinch, get up to $5,000, for a megawatt. So, to Mike's point of if that's needed and will we run, if under a lot of estimated scenarios where we're expected to run, certainly those prices and the spot prices would push us or allow us to run. And, kind of somewhat unprecedented that we've been notified of the potential issues this early in the year, but there are a number of typical baseload outages that they're concerned about what if they don't get those back online, the maintenance and really the delivery schedules, maintenance items, those are all being pushed out much longer than expected because of the supply chain prices that we're seeing. So there is some unpredictability there, and we're doing the best to accommodate both Indian Oil, Mean, and market at large.
Any other topics to cover? Questions, discussion?
Kurt, I'm just curious. So are all the temporary drops, are those all completed and?
Yes, well, yes and no. Yes, we got through everything from winter. Now we're into like people digging through drops and cutting. So
That's different.
it's different. So we've got a few out there, but we did get through all the winter ones. Yes, we did. So, yeah. So,
A big reminder to call
Right,
before you
yeah.
say, right?
we've had a few here the last couple of days, so, but it's that time of year. So.
Anything else anyone has?
I think Deb made a motion. Was that a
I
motion?
did.
I'll second.
Leslie, did you have anything to share?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but I had, it started giving me a lot of feedback. I heard every word.
Good, I'm glad. Did you have any additional comments or questions?
No,
Okay. Deb has made a motion to adjourn. Mike has seconded it. All in favor?
I.
Opposed? Okay, it's a night. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.